Um, but so yeah, so and then and that's the other thing. When I'm not tired, I might go a day or two, possibly three, but by the fourth day, I'm catching up on my sleep. Like
Right.
enough's enough, and I'm sleeping for 12 hours.
That's when your sleep debt kicks in.
Yep.
Yeah. Now he's on. I don't know how far into it we are. What, a month or two, right? Of being tired.
I
Oh
think
my God.
more than that. I think it's been like 4 to 6, something.
Well, that's even worse. Oh yeah, because Wiser. Wait, we got the Wiser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I wanted to keep reading. I had to stop. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, when you said just to 4, I was like, wait, but no, he's about to have an intense conversation with this mystery man who's going to help him.
well, I didn't want to give us too much to start with, so it seemed like a let's meet Joe Wiser and we can get into
Yeah,
all the other stuff after that. But
I did immediately like Joe. I was like, oh, okay.
all right, starts with a dad joke. How can you not like him?
Well, and he's not. Like nobody else is trying to lie to him, but I guess it's just because he knows more, so he's not bullshitting at all. He's like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this book is such classic Stephen King. Like there's okay, so it's about Ralph not being able to sleep on the surface, but there's so much else under the surface going on. Like he's talking to Wiser because his wife just died of cancer and she got misdiagnosed by his PCP, so he doesn't want to go tell him his problems because he doesn't really trust him because in his mind, he knows it's not fair, but this guy kind of killed his wife.
Also, real quick, I'm sorry, I have to mention he needs to get off of this whole brain headaches means brain tumors thing because like he's giving me that fear. Like,
Yeah.
Your great grandmother has told me that my whole life. Oh my God, what if it's a brain tumor? I'm like, well, now you got me worried about it, and I don't think that helps.
this is the second character that he writes about at least, and I'm like, stop it.
Who else?
Under the Dome.
Oh, huh. There you go with your spoilers again. Uh,
That's not a spoiler. Okay, you find out very quickly that something's not right.
right. Well, do they tell? Yeah, that's a different book, different discussion. Do they say it right away? I don't remember, but he's
Oh,
definitely off
yeah,
right
because
away.
it's from his perspective.
Right. But does he know about the tumor from the beginning? I guess he has to.
I don't know. No, I don't think we find out about the tumor at the beginning, but that's later on. But he has these really bad migraines, and that's
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like Stephen King doesn't actually get migraines because I don't think he relates to that very well. He did a pretty good job with the one person that had it. I can't remember. I think we covered it. But I remember saying he did a pretty good job of that one, but normally he doesn't really relate to headaches very well. Every headache is not a brain tumor, and every bad headache is not a brain tumor.
Sometimes you just get migraines.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get migraines, but if you get repeated migraines, especially with like balance issues, that needs a doctor.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I had a friend pass from a brain tumor. So,
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry to hear that. Wow, so maybe it is more common.
yeah. It's not completely unfounded, but
oh, it's definitely. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a thing at all, but it's also not everybody with a headache.
yeah.
Um,
No, no, no. Yeah.
but yeah, and those are like by the time it's just too late. That's why they suck so bad. Like there's no
Yeah.
way to look for it until you start getting the headaches, and by then it's generally nothing you can do about it.
Well, and a lot of the times they're inoperable. So,
Yeah, because they get so big by the time when you see them. I think, right?
yeah. Or it's just in a spot where they literally like if they cut out that part of your brain, you would die anyways. So,
So
Oh yeah.
how are you? I guess you like how are you supposed to know that? Like what you said if you're having balance issues too.
yeah.
I mean,
At least that's what happened to him. He like couldn't walk straight anymore, especially when he was getting those headaches.
Mm.
And
Oh,
it was
this,
on his like when his where his brain met his spinal column.
oh Jesus.
I imagine it's a lot like stroke symptoms or something because it's all brain stuff going haywire. Um, so your speech and your balance and your
Right.
uh, well, mostly those two. So wait, Carolyn, right? What's his wife's name? Carolyn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What kind of cancer did she have? I don't remember.
She had a
It
brain
wasn't.
tumor.
It was a brain tumor. Okay.
It was
Oh.
misdiagnosed as migraines.
Or like vapors or whatever. Stress, I think. It's like you're just getting tension headaches and you need to meditate.
Well, you say certainly nothing that'll kill you.
Right. That's why he doesn't want to go back to him.
I get that. I mean, I would have a new doctor at that point. I wouldn't just have my regular doctor that I don't want to see. Especially at 70 years old. You kind of need to have your doctor in your back pocket.
Yeah.
He definitely brushed that option off way too quick because he mentioned it and he's like, an old guy like me can't just go poking around anywhere for a doctor. And like, well, try somewhere.
Yeah.
First of all, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just don't understand that logic. I'm like, why can't you go to a new doctor at 70? Like, I understand that they have all your records there. Those can be transferred. Like, that's not a valid excuse.
You may not want to because, and I like my doctor recently pissed me off, and I thought about a new one. But I'm like, and I could go down the street and get another one. But I've been going there. You kind of establish this like they know all your problems. You really want to start over telling someone else all your problems, where they may be more, I guess, clinical and haven't gone through it with you, so they don't kind of understand all the ins and outs.
I'm just not used to ever seeing the same doctor, so I feel like I see a new person every time I go.
Definitely, as you get older, you get more familiar with your doctor, I would say. Hell, I've had 5 surgeries in 5 years, so
that's fair.
We're on a first name basis these days. So I mean, I get it, but it's not an excuse to not do it.
Yeah, ultimately it comes down to whatever you don't want to do. It cannot be harder than the life you're living now, for whatever reason.
Yeah, at 70, I'm too paranoid about dying. So to me, not seeing my doctor is a good way to speed that up.
Wait, this. Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Speed up, not dying.
Right.
Wait, no, speed up, dying.
If you don't see your doctor, it's a good way to speed up dying.
Right.
Moral of the story: go see your doctor.
Yeah, don't be what do they call in the? Yeah, they called him it wasn't a septuagenarian. It was some weird word that I had to figure out meant 70 something.
Centenary? No.
It was like it had like a U in it. It was like septuarian or some shit. Maybe they just made it up, but I don't know.
I must have just glazed over that.
They said it in the book?
No. It was they were talking online about it. That's what they were calling him. So.
So what you're talking about.
And Ralph starts walking. Big surprise there. I think we all know someone that used to walk around Maine. I wonder if he still walks. I guess he doesn't, right? Probably so. Tabby was probably like, hell no, you are not fucking walking.
Get up. Oh my god, I can't remember. Pentalon. That's one.
Secondhand clothes is in it, right?
Yes. It's where he refound silver.
Oh, so it was that store. Okay. All right. I guess that is the store in the new book where he tells Bill how he hates the ending of his book. That's that store, right?
In the movie?
Yeah, in the new movie. The first new movie. Getting complicated out there.
I had that conversation with someone in real life the other day, and they were saying like, I read The Green Mile and I was shocked to find out that it's Stephen King wrote it because it's not really a horror book. And I was like, yeah, well, been there.
Hey, good. I'm glad.
Right.
He deserves more credit. He's not. I don't see him as a horror writer. That's pigeonhole. I'm not.
Oh, I went into that whole spiel. I was like, well, he doesn't really consider himself a horror writer. It's just kind of how he got classified because a lot of his famous works are horror novels. But
he's definitely good at the monster in the background. But yeah, most of his monsters are sitting in the same room or in the other room.
That's what I said too. I was like, well, you see, while the story on the outside may be about the monster, There's a
Yeah,
difference.
there's like the overarching monster, but then you deal with him later. Right now, we got monsters in our face that we got like the Mist, where you got the religious nuts trying to kill you, and you got the fucking things on the wind. Have we done the Mist?
No, but I mean,
Haven't read it, seen the movie.
yeah.
Okay, things on the window outside. Uh, at the same time, so you got like the in your face ones and the overall ones, and that's what I guess that's where this is headed. Uh, because we got the whole pro-life, pro-abortion thing starting to heat up.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's interesting to read about this.
It's way more relevant, kind of, than was like. I was like, whoa, whoa, I didn't do that on purpose.
uh, not to switch topics, but it also reminded me like the rants that Ed goes on when he's crazy is like I feel like I'm watching conspiracy theories on TikTok. Like it's all the same rhetoric today still.
What fuck is wrong with him?
That's a good question.
With Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it just it's that deep no gene, right?
If I was to be objective, my guess would be drugs or alcohol.
I think they make a point to say that he was definitely not drunk at all, right?
Did they?
Uh, at least when the cops show up when he beats
Oh,
Helen. I'm not sure about the airport.
I
yeah.
feel like with how close Ralph was, though, if he had been drunk, Stephen King probably would have said something along the lines of like, "Oh, he reeked of alcohol," or
Yeah, I
something.
think you're right. Yeah.
So I'm inclined to say probably not alcohol. Drugs, I could see.
And what's with the? Okay, so is this like some like I don't know how to say it. So we got the abortion chick, who I guess somebody's trying to get her to come to town. That we don't even know that yet, but we got signs on the poles that say that she's wanted for murder. Like it should say, "Have you seen Susan Day? We really miss her." That would be funny.
You better not come to town then.
Right? We really miss her. She answers to, "Hey, bitch, get the fuck out of town."
Right. Hey, Susan Day.
Oh yeah, that's totally the LBJ rant, by the way, from like the '60s.
That rhymed.
Yeah, from Vietnam. Hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today?
I think it's mentioned. I think he notes that. He's like,
He
it
does.
reminds me of the LBJ thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when he like goes all meta like that, or like the character is like saying it reminds him of something that the writer put in there because it reminded him of that.
Well, it's weird when he does it because he doesn't always do it. So sometimes he does.
Yeah.
Like he
And
doesn't always tell us that he's referencing something. We just have to figure that out for ourselves.
where's the fun in that, right? I don't know that anybody's ever been wool gathering outside of a Stephen King novel, but they do a lot of it. Uh, I think that means daydream. Someone's always like thinking about something, and I'm like, hey, and like, oh, sorry, I was wool gathering. Like, yeah, because like I've never said that. never heard it. I think
Yeah.
I saw a parka in the store the other day, and I almost bought it because it said parka on it. Yeah, so right away, almost from page one, we got Ralph taking a walk and then walking into Susan Day, and then the Ralph goes to the airport, and Ed, I don't rams this guy on purpose, maybe
Seemingly.
to what? And well, that's what I was saying. So we got the abortion, I don't know, advocate. They're trying to get to come to town, and suddenly this guy thinks that they're hauling trucks of dead babies I don't to what purpose? I'm not even sure.
Well, because they're evil.
So that's just what they do.
They're
Like,
working
are
for.
these two stories related? They have to be. Like, why
Um,
is Ed suddenly thinking there's babies everywhere, dead babies everywhere.
Well,
When
that's what I was
when
gonna say. His uh devolution, if you will, has been both like obviously mentally, like it feels very much like schizophrenic or like I said, just delusional. They're delusions. And but then also there's this extreme rage and aggression to go along with it. So I'm like, I don't know what causes that.
Yeah.
Ralph says that when the people get arrested at the protest or something, he's like something something, and then he's like, but then when he found out Ed was there, he's like, oh, Ed was no ordinary protester. So
Yeah.
he's like, oh, something went down. Um, uh, and oh yeah, there's a Witchman Jackson. There's a
Hmm.
love Witchman Jackson.
We're in Derry though, so that makes sense.
Yes, Up Mile Hill. I don't really understand the name of that. And he makes fun of it himself. There was like that the stupidly named Up Mile Hill or something. Uh, like when he says the Crimson King sounds like a WWE wrestler. Like, oh, see. But wait, so is Ed ranting about the Crimson King the first time we ever hear about him? I guess it is.
When he's in his yard after he
Yeah,
beat it
not the first
someone.
time.
And he's just like, hey, Ralph, what's up? Oh, yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah, Ralph was like, "What's up? What the fuck you mean?"
I know. His level of disconnect is, yeah, he's like, oh, that. And then I was so mad at those cops because like Ralph was mad that they weren't doing anything, and I guess it was like Ralph's perspective. But then the guy was like, no, 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 we know, don't worry, we got this. Like he's not getting out of here.
I definitely enjoyed that twist. I was like, for once, these cops aren't useless because usually they are in Stephen King books.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, don't tell me like the '90s are that bad that these cops are going to walk up here and like he's just going to like walk away or something. Like, please, I don't remember the '90s being that bad. Yeah, give me 10 minutes. I fell asleep, so we started late.
Yeah, just go by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll go by 2:30.
Okay.
Sorry, detour. So yeah, we're on a countdown. And I was forgot what the fuck was I saying?
Police being useless in Stephen King novels typically.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna say I don't remember the '90s being that bad, but I was like, please tell me these guys don't fucking walk away from this, or he doesn't walk. They let him walk away. Like he charms his way out of it. It's like, hey guys, you want a beer? I'm like,
He
no,
looked at him and he's like, "Women, what can I say?"
right? What can you do? Can't hit them. Can't live with them. Can't kill them. So yeah, I was what's the guy's name? Laydecker, I think was the cop.
Yeah.
So he was and he had a good point that like I guess because you read it from Ralph's perspective, so you're kind of frantic the way Ralph is reading it. And Kyle was like, no, we had to get him away and by himself before we addressed any of that. So the number one point was to keep everybody calm while we like isolated them.
Oh, real quick, the other cop that was mentioned was Officer Nell from It.
Oh.
Was that Laydecker's partner?
Yeah.
I think that's actually Nell's kid or something, right?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Officer Nell from the Barons in the '50s is probably not the same one.
That's a good point.
Although he did when he says how he's researching insomnia and then he fixes, he mentions Mike.
Yes. Yeah. I wrote that down too. He references him at the library.
Yep.
Oh, Mike. He got the short end of that stick.
At least he's alive.
Yeah, at least he's alive.
They're all alive. Except for Fuckstan.
Well,
or Eddie.
But
right.
we were just talking about, poor Jake and all them. So like
oh, well, that's a different level. Yeah.
He can live out his boring life in the Derry library.
Yep. Forgetting about all the stuff that they went through.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's not a boring life, but his retirement years.
I hate that. Like they all forget and everything starts disappearing, and even the words he was writing to remember like started fading from the page. Like, no, you
I don't
need to
really
remember
understand.
this.
That is a weird angle. It's like, is that supposed to be representation of how your brain deals with trauma? Like, why?
Yeah. So none of it actually happened because it's. Yeah, I got a refrigerator out there in the Barrens that says differently. That thing is like the cold. That refrigerator traumatized.
Is
Yeah.
that thing still there?
What? What?
I mean, that's still got to be there, right? Like, or would the flood have washed it away? I don't know.
Could have.
Um. In this, I was like, "What do you mean it's not there?" I guess it's still. I guess it would be. Maybe I don't know. It could be either one.
Yeah.
The ironically named Barrens, as it were.
Yeah. Names don't mean much.
Yeah, when we're on the tour and he's like, "There's the Barrens," I'm like, "What's with all the fucking vegetation?"
I mean, I need to expect that from the movie, from the remake.
I know, but still, you're like, "Damn it, man!" And then I didn't get it was a joke. All right, so trying to find Ed and that accident because there's some good shit that happens there.
Dorrance says something weird about Ralph's hands.
He does.
Yeah.
When
Where is that?
page 22.
Especially reading this right after the Dark Tower, I was like, Todash!
Well, I mean, we know it's tower related, so what does that mean? Because he says something about I haven't gotten to it yet. Oh yeah.
I have it here.
Long time business or something, right?
What?
Long time. When he says I can't see your hands, he says something like I wouldn't mess with that. That's long time business or something.
Mm.
He says, Ralph, I wouldn't touch him anymore if I were you. I can't see your hands. Ralph, what are you talking about, Dorrance? Your hands, Dorrance said patiently. I can't see your. The old man brightened. Yes, that's just what I ought to do. It's what you ought to do too, Ralph. You don't want to. Oh yeah, you don't want to mess in with long time business. It's a good way to get hurt. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So that feels. I don't know that you're wrong. That feels like Todash.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't he see his hand? So he couldn't see his hands when he got near Ed, or when he touched him.
He was holding Ed back. Yeah.
Ah. So is Ed Todash? Is that the fuck part of what's wrong with him?
Could Dorrance?
Maybe?
But Dorrance could see Ed, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, is that a wait? So if you're Todash, does that mean they can't see you?
Couldn't, because I was thinking about when like Jake and Eddie went Todash in like when they were sleeping, and they could see like an outline of them, but they couldn't really see Jake and Eddie.
Wasn't there one time when they went where they could like interact with the people? Todash rules are kind of vague. I have to ask Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember there being like a. Well, I don't know if that was Todash or if that were they traveling a different way. I don't remember anymore. But there was like a dark Todash and then like a regular travel Todash.
Well, I think the dark Todash was when you got like lost.
Or was that just because they were using the ball?
Shit,
Might
I
have
don't
been.
know.
Black 13. It might have been that, and who knows if they were Todash or not. I don't think we ever figured that out.
Right.
I want some like books on the other ones, the other rainbows.
I
The
know.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
don't know
whole
what
lot
all
of
of
cool
them
shit
are.
there.
Right.
Unexplored. Fucking pink and black. What's the blue one? Crimson King jumps from body to body and generation to generation like a kid using stepping stones to cross a brook. Always looking for the Messiah. He's always missed him, but this time it could be different. Because Derry is different. Well, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. All lines of force have begun to converge here. I know how difficult that is to believe, but it's true. So he sounds like a raving lunatic, but I don't think he is, at least not in that paragraph.
I don't know. I kind of took the opposite approach. Like, especially when he mentioned the Messiah, I'm like, I don't know if you even know anything about the Crimson King.
Well,
Well,
that's the passage that really made me be like, "Where's Roland?"
I mean, Roland could be the Messiah in that, right?
That-
If you're the Crimson King, who are you looking for? You're looking for Roland your whole life.
yeah, that's where my brain went.
I don't feel like he was too hard to find, though. I mean, how many people did he send after to fuck with him?
Well, a lot, but if it's in a completely different plane of existence, then maybe he's moving him on that plane.
He's like the Crimson King is like, oh, Helen, I'm so sorry. He's like, oh, God, he really did lose it. Yeah, he's, I don't know. That sentence. Yeah, he does. I don't see. Now, I guess he wrote this. This is the first time he, hello, and welcome to the introduction of the Crimson King. Because so maybe he just, this is the first time he's writing about him. So I guess he maybe kind of changed his mind and said, well, then let's not do the Messiah thing. And make him more of a crazy Rapunzel in a castle guy.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Because it definitely feels way more like crackpot religious theory.
Yeah, Jesus point. Well, he says Messiah, so yeah.
I like
Okay.
that. That's what made me write him off. I was like, you don't know anything.
Right,
But I think it's just the wording. I think you're right.
Either way, I don't think he's crazy in that sense. I think he knows exactly what he's talking about. But what? How does this guy know anything about fucking the Crimson King? Where is this coming from? Like, who's feeding him his information?
But that's what I'm saying. How do you know it's true? Like, what makes you believe what he's
If
saying?
it's not, then where did he get the fucking reference from?
I don't know.
How does he even know who the Crimson King is?
Walter.
Where's Walter? Yeah, see, he's back there somewhere doing something. We're talking 96, so Walter's still alive. Or 94, right?
Yeah, 94, yeah. Maybe he's having dreams and he's seeing things. Or maybe, oh wait, I forgot. We know the Crimson King is real, so
Yeah.
I was gonna say, maybe he's just insane.
Well, and there's when Ralph confronts Ed on the lawn, there's a part where he says, "Who are you really, Ed?"
Yeah.
So it might also be like a body snatcher thing.
That's true.
Who would be in? So somebody's possessing Ed, that kind of thing.
Maybe.
Or pretending to be him.
Ooh, that's much more terrifying.
I mean,
who
it does.
would
From what they've explained to us, it seems like this is a completely 180 character change. So
Yeah. That's part of the thing I don't like, though, is we jumped into a weird Ed so quickly that we never really got a sense of who he, quote unquote, was beforehand. So I feel like we don't have a great basis of if this really isn't like him or if he was just hiding this part of himself from Ralph. But just knowing
Well, I think
the general like direction of Stephen King tales, I feel like, yeah, it's probably really is out of character for him, but we don't know that for certain.
State of Maine lumping up your wife is only a misdemeanor. Wait, I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it.
No, I think that is a good point, especially because it's only from Ralph's perspective. Like you said, we don't hear anyone else say how great Ed is.
Yeah.
Well, there's other people in the town that I believe, like, or is it just Ralph? Maybe Lois says it too, or Phil. Like Ed, are you serious? He's like they're painting him like the timid little scientist, pair of glasses and a white lab coat or something.
But to Alex's point, that doesn't mean that he wasn't abusing his wife before.
No, I think he was, because clearly, according to Helen, it had been going on for years. So
Well, I think
is this out of character, or is this just actually who he's been and he was hiding it, and for some reason now he can't? He's like lost the ability to hide it.
yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
I think kind of who he's been. It's probably not who he was like when they got married or whatever, but I think he's been degrading
Yeah.
um, for whatever reason that I don't think we know. Um, I know why he's degrading. At least I have a guess. Um, Sometimes I wish I could go back and like hit a race and like make it like so I never read the book, so I wouldn't know what happened. That's why I like the new ones, because they're the only ones where they're like genuine surprise, like what's going to happen next. But they're not, the same.
Right. Coke fueled. Okay.
Right. They're not classic by definition. Not yet, anyway. Although they do get, I think he, when he finishes, he just sends it over to the fucking movie house and asks them who wants it.
They have bidding rights before the title's even created.
Probably.
So where do we end at with Joe Weiser, right?
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah, we
tried
kinda-
all the other remedies and nothing is working.
I know all of them. I like all the stupid, like the one guy. Who was it? His somebody was like, try some whiskey, not too much. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you can't sleep, try as much whiskey as you fucking need to.
Well,
Because that's a good point. You drink enough whiskey, your ass is gonna pass out.
yeah, but his problem is not falling asleep; it's staying asleep. So who's to say he wouldn't just wake up at the same time drunk?
He probably
That
would.
would suck.
Clearly, there's something going on here that we don't know, because this is normal. So, yeah, getting old is certainly no job for sissies. That's what I was talking about.
I don't understand why he's even ashamed to go to the drugstore, though. Like, what do they care if you're looking for sleeping pills? You're an old man. Like, what is the big deal?
Yeah, that's clearly all in his head. Maybe it's something that the writer person has in his head when he goes to the drugstore.
Maybe,
He's
yeah,
like,
maybe it's a small town thing.
Yeah.
those
Small town.
judgy.
You want to know your business.
But it's
Where did
sleep.
they go? Rite Aid, right?
Yeah. Shout out.
Well, not on purpose. I think they're out of business now anyway. So
All of them?
Rite Aid, I think, is out of business, isn't it?
I
All
know.
right.
Anyway.
Well,
All right.
yeah, there's not much more to say. So we meet Wiser, and we're about to find out if he actually is older and wiser, right? Susan Day is she's coming, right? By the end of this,
Do
we
know?
know she. What's that?
Because I know they were petitioning, but I don't think we know if she's actually going to be coming or not.
Yeah, I don't think we know
At the end. No, crap. Well, these things happen.
that.
I mean, I don't think that's much of a spoiler. There's no way she's not coming, right? Because that's the whole plot at the beginning. One thing we got to talk about real quick. So Ralph is now so tired he sees trails everywhere. I like
Oh
it.
my god, that's right. I totally forgot about that part.
And so
Yeah, that was such a cool description to read.
Very
it
vivid.
was, yeah, he's so good at that. Like, tell me he hasn't done acid, because that's what I felt like when I was reading it.
Yep.
Like he's seeing trails and he's seeing like I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe sometimes he's seeing glowing circles of footprints. I'm like, oh, okay. So Ralph's getting to a different level of tired at this point. I don't know what that means. It's hard for me to talk, but it's seeming to point to something under the surface that is there that we're not.
Todash.
Yeah, right. It always goes back to Toto. So we'll see where those trails go, but they were really. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So like, yeah, like I said, he's like everything he writes, I can just relate to. So
Not only that, you can picture it so easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I was picturing like the glowing green footprints and like Lois talking to him and moving her hand, and Ralph looking at her hand, going, "What the fuck?" Uh, like just the sense of wonder. Like I was, yeah, it's good to be back. The passage was great. The wheel of time was great, but it's good to be back. So, all right, I don't know, good to be back. Happy podcasting.
Yeah.
Yay.
And the episode, everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.